That's the kosher table. And then anybody who keeps kosher can come to my table and have stuff to eat during the day.
I don't think I've ever seen you. I've been there every single week, really.
So I haven't been there the last few weeks because it's all the holidays. But last year and next year and this year. First 3 weeks and the last 2 weeks. Alright, so you can just, I can give you more. Okay, thank you. They wrote an article about me in the Jewish Times once, but they wrote an article about people who worked at the Renaissance Festival who were Jewish. And what they did was the article on the performers who would leave quickly to get home for Yom Kippur. And then somebody, one of the performers said, you should talk to Karen Bialik. And that's a little bigger, I think. And they said, why? Because you just need to talk to her. So my family's been going to fair since my youngest, who is now almost 17, was before he was created. And we go in costume, and we've been going in costume. And each year it got a little bit more. Now it's garb. And every year, the week before Rosh Hashanah, I bring all the performers that I know who are Jewish, and then all my friends who I do chocolate chip pumpkin bread for the season, because I don't like honey cake. So I take them stuff, and it's been very nice because what I've brought, a lot of the performers will go, oh, this will go great with our apples and honey, because even a lot of the boothies are Jewish, but they're not observant. But they know it's Rosh Hashanah, so they have their apples and honey and then my cake with it. So I've been able to contribute to their holidays that way for years.
That's awesome, because I mean, I know this year I couldn't go home for the holidays because I got in trouble for that one. But you know, I mean, I had to be at fair because I'm filming my thesis.
Right.
So you know, but it's nice to, you know, I still brought challah because I make challah from scratch, and you know, I still brought it and I still shared, you know, the koga with everybody and the challah with everybody. You know, I'm not that observant, but you know, it's still part of my tradition. So it's nice to be able to share that with.
Well, you should come here for dinner tomorrow night because we'll be in the sukkah because it's Shmini Atzeret. I don't know if you know what that is. And it's the day before Simchas Torah.
Can you tell me what
Shmini Atzeret? Shmini Atzeret is the 8th day of assembly, and in Israel they don't have a Shmini Atzeret. They go right into Simchas Torah Friday night, Saturday, but for in America it's Saturday night and Sunday is Simchas Torah. So Shmini Atzeret is just that extra day that keeps us a little bit more. We're outside of Israel, and because we're outside of Israel, it's like it takes an extra day at the beginning to really get into the flavor of the holiday. So we have 2 days of holy days at the beginning, which pushes off the end one day. We just have an extra day.
Now this is not Sukkot tonight, right?
Yes, it is.
It is
It's Sukkot all week. Sukkot is 7 days.
My dad was Catholic.
Sukkot is 7 days. So we dwell in our sukkah for 7 days. So last night I was next door and they had, for our synagogue, we had a big, they call it a Simchat Beit HaShoeva. During this time when we had the temple in Jerusalem, it used to be like the water pouring ceremony, and this was the time where we did all kinds of fancy things to make sure that we would have a lot of rain during the winter. And it's just, you know, it's like we have lots of partying and lots of music, and, you know, it's all in memory of this, okay, there should be rain in the proper time in Israel, so there's no drought. We have a lot of fun. So tonight everybody brought their music and we'll play after, and we'll move the tables around. I'll bring the fire pit back inside and we'll have a fireplace and we can bake s'mores.
Now, I understand a lot of the Wren families coming in, they're not Jewish. Why do you do this for them?
I do it because I've been going for 17 years. I've made a lot of friends. It's a way for me to share my culture, which is different than theirs, and it's a way to reach out to people who aren't Jewish, who might not necessarily celebrate. And it's outreach in a pleasant way. People who don't know what Jews are or what Judaism is have a chance to experience it up close and personal and have a lot of fun.
Friends of Fair.
I was there because I was overlooking you guys.
We did five of those gigantic boxes, and that was with 1 week or 5 days of advertising.
But you guys have them. There's a built-in thing that you all have, which is awesome. Which is great.
Let us know about your stuff, and we can do the same thing.
Well, that's the thing. If I try and do something within the same month or the same couple couple months. You don't want to keep dipping into the same well too many times. And if we can...
Does everybody know about the Deek Stock 3 coming up?
What?
Yeah.
Floto. So what is...
It's the Rogues have been doing a benefit for a veteran. They're not.
Well, it started out many years ago as Celtic Crossroads, and it was to benefit someone within our community at the fair.
Okay.
When Nelson came on, it became for a veteran or something like that, which is why there aren't any vendors there's no silent auction this year.
Why not?
Because the vendors were a little annoyed that it's not anything for the people, benefiting the people that are in our community as Renaissance Festival people. And they're like, and I understand the point.
Isn't a guy that was in a motorcycle?
Who come to fair, but they're not someone who makes their living through the fair. And their big argument is, hey, the government's not giving us any benefits. We don't have health benefits. We don't have insurance.
Well, another thing is that they do have 2 or 3 people that need help at fair.
Absolutely.
And they were pretty much give it home first.
Klaus just said something, I guess, to Randy.
I don't know who Klaus is.
Klaus is the medieval moccasins guy.
Yeah.
And Nelson got PO'd and jumped in Klaus's face and threatened him,
Well, I'll
basically.
tell you, I never got to participate in Celtic Crossroads because it was always on a Friday night.
Right,
And this was on a Saturday night, and it's nice.
It's a much smaller affair.
Is that what it is?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's my only experience of it is by that, because we can leave the minute Shabbos is over, and we drive down there and we get there in time. You know, people are still coming out of fair by the time we get there. So
It's real easy.
I never had a problem with it being to benefit someone that came to fair like Deke or Phil. But this year the money is going toward Ward 54 or something at Walter Reed Hospital.
I think that once they got involved, the Rogues did a whole. Lauren, the Rogues did a whole show with the who did you do it with? Randy? The Air Force with the Air Force Orchestra, and and I guess she said that Nelson was really instrumental in changing the flavor. Then it's probably the fact that they're doing a lot of stuff
No,
for
it wasn't a
veterans.
motorcycle class. He is a motorcyclist. His name is
So
Deke.
that's
That's why they call it Deke.
It's moved.
He was in a construction accident in his work. He lays concrete or something. And it was getting ready to rain, and so they were laying tarps, and he was coming back across a large piece. There was a board laid across it that they could cross over it, and he slipped on the wet wood between his legs on the wood. Yeah. A lot of surgery. They had to reconnect his bladder and his urethra.
We actually planned it out. Wait for the schedule.
You got that on tape.
Yeah. He's doing much better now. He's at fair all the
The
time.
West Coast teams, they only play one.
All the winches. They're like, oh my God, he has muscles.
They're rentals.
We thought it was hilarious when I'm sitting there and the girls are like, look at his arms. And then when you got up on the tightrope, they're like, oh my God, I wish these were real binoculars. Look at those legs. They were bad.
You know what? I wish you guys had waited like another minute. I pulled them out when I got on the wire. Because when I looked over and you guys were all staring at me with them, it threw me. At first I was like, are they actually having trouble seeing me? I didn't want to make jokes because they all look like the medical, like the eye things that would really help you.
Don't need to take anything else out.
Like little glasses as opposed to big Hollywood binoculars. So.
Well, they're not done with you yet.
Bring it on. Makes it interesting for me.
We were hoping that you would say something to them. Is that raining?
It is raining. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just got wet.
Yeah, the party's moving inside.
Thank goodness it's rain.
Yeah.
Jacob,